All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening and happy Monday and happy Labor Day. I hope you all are having an amazing long weekend for those of you that had today off. But I hope you had a great weekend overall. I know for me, it was a pretty eventful weekend. Just a good cookout and good family time. I went hiking this morning, so I was able to burn the calories that I consumed today. So I cooked today and had a really good meal. And after this, I'm definitely going to have dessert. So I ate, I took a little nap, got the itis a little bit. And then I'm actually going to be having dessert after this call. So I'm really excited to just be back last week. Thank you all just for your patience and your flexibility. I ended up canceling last week's show because of the weather. The weather was really bad in the Atlanta area. We were getting some of the after effects or some of the remnants of the hurricane. So it was raining and storming really bad. And I just didn't want my internet and lights and stuff to be going out and me screaming, looking crazy on this live. So we're back this week. And I'm really excited about tonight's topic, which is a behind the scenes topic. And I'm going to be talking about my process as far as the client fitting and how I prepare for it and really how to be really successful in this area if you ever do decide to work with me. This is also an Ask Me Anything segment. So, any questions that you might have about my process, about who I am as an individual, my business, any of my services, feel free to put those in the chat. And we're going to go ahead and just dig right on in. So, I wanted to talk about just my process in terms of how I prepare for my client fittings, because I know a lot of stylists do things differently. And so, it's important for me to just share why mine is so unique and so special, and how I truly give you the classy, VIP experience. Because I do understand that when I educate my clients on the process and we talk through this, it just gives you a better idea of what to expect, gives you just more information on why I charge what I charge, as far as timeline, why things might take a certain amount of time, and just gives better insight. So I love to educate my clients just on this process because I think it's important and it allows both of us to be successful throughout the time of us working together. So I'm always, very open-ended, open door policy. Any questions that you have, anything that you might not be comfortable with or unclear with, I am always telling my clients to feel free to ask questions. And that's another reason why I am doing these lives, is because it's important for me to just share information about what I do, how I do it, and who I do it for. Okay, you guys remember that was actually my first live where I did explain just what I do as an image consultant and who my client is. So feel free to go back to episode 1. Okay, you guys? So let's go ahead and dig right in. So I want to talk about just my overall process of how I work with my clients when it comes to doing client fittings, right? So that's going to be a part of the process. And I'll talk about virtual versus on site, the kind of the pros and cons there. But everything starts with a consultation. Okay. Everything starts with a consultation. And my consultations are free. And it is a brand discovery call because as an image consultant, I am focused on enhancing your brand, right? So this could be your personal brand, your professional brand. And primarily, I do this through your wardrobe. So that consultation is going to give us an opportunity to just chat so we can be sure that we are a great fit for one another, right? Because I get some people who think I do PR work, right? They think that I do life coaching. They just might not be as clear about what I do. So it's important for us to just jump on a call. It's no more than 30 minutes for us to really just talk through what you're looking for, why you are looking for this. So this is where you talk to me about maybe you're going through a transition, or maybe you're looking to transition, whether it's something to do with work, a personal transition, or even a professional transition. But this is the time that you talk me through why you're wanting these services. And then that's when I evaluate, right, whether or not what I offer can truly be a good fit. Because one thing that I do not do is overcommit and under deliver. Okay. I don't overcommit and I don't under deliver. So that's why it's important for us to talk through what it is exactly that you're needing so I can make sure that I truly can get the job done. Because I don't just collect checks, right? And just try to get all these clients under my belt. I truly want to make sure that we're a good fit for one another and that I can truly deliver, because that's really important to me as a service provider. Okay. So again, the first thing is going to be that consultation. So, and let me just pop up what my actual link is to have that brand discovery call. And again, it is free, so there's no pressure. And the reason why I don't have individuals pay for this, again, is because this is where I truly evaluate whether or not we are a good fit. I don't accept all clients. And some people get surprised by that. They're like, what, Christy, you're a new-ish entrepreneur and you don't take everyone? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There needs to be alignment, because what I have learned is if we are not aligned, the process is going to be very rough, right? So I look for clients who are truly committed to investing in the process, whether it's their time, whether it's financially, because it needs to go both ways, right? In order for us to truly be successful. So just wanted to throw that out there and make sure you all understand that this is really what happens during the consultation. And if you want to learn more about that, I can certainly just talk you through it. Feel free to DM me. I'm always available. Email me, or again, we can jump on a quick 30-minute call. So this is the link if you are interested. Okay. So after we have the consultation, then we transition and I understand what your needs are or what you're looking for. And that's when I prescribe one of the three services, right? So either it is a one-off event styling, or maybe you have a photo shoot, or maybe you're trying to choose between a wardrobe refresh or a wardrobe revamp. Okay, now typically, depending on where you are in your situation, you can choose one or the other. If you're completely ready to start from scratch, then we would do a wardrobe revamp, or we're completely gutting your wardrobe. Or if you just need a few pieces, maybe just a capsule collection for the new season coming up, adding a few pieces to refresh your wardrobe, that's when we're going to do the wardrobe refresh. Okay. So during that process, as we're talking through and going through the consultation, I like to understand a little bit more about what exactly you're looking for within this styling process, right? So I'll ask, who are some of your style icons? How do you get inspired when it comes to fashion? Do you look to magazines? Do you look online? Do you look to a specific influencer? We start to talk through some of the colors that you like to wear, right? What really empowers you and what types of pieces empower you. During this conversation, I also provide, a questionnaire where I like to understand, in terms of your body, what are some of your problem areas, right? Where you want to kind of camouflage or conceal. Maybe you might be a little bit self-conscious about your legs or your arms or your neck, right? And so as a stylist, I want to make sure that I'm not highlighting these areas, right? When I'm pulling pieces, and then I fully understand you as an individual and what areas you're proud of, and maybe some areas that you might want to conceal or camouflage. Okay. So this is very important. And it's important for you to be honest with me during this period, because it's going to impact the way that I shop, right? So if you tell me, Krista, oh my gosh, I love my legs. I've been working out in the gym. It's summertime. I love a pencil skirt, or just a mini skirt in general. And I'm listening to you and I'm like, oh, okay, this would look cute on such and such. And then when I come to you for the fitting, you're like, oh my gosh, my legs, look X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna be like, wait a minute. But during the consultation or in this questionnaire, you told me this was an area that you love. So it's really important. And even the opposite, right? If you're self-conscious about something, it's okay to let me know. We all have areas of our body that we'd like to improve and work on. And so it's totally fine for you to be in that state. And it's important for you to communicate that to me because, again, this is how I make my shopping decisions. It's based off of our consultation, it's based off of the questionnaire. And this is really important for you to truly be honest with yourself, right? And also with me. Okay. And my job is to make this process as comfortable as possible because ultimately, when you're honest, it helps us both be successful in the end. Okay. So we've talked about, what happens during the consultation. I talked to you a little bit about what to expect in the questionnaire. It's like 8 to 10 questions, so it's not long at all. I also ask you to submit some photos. Now, I don't upload the photos. You guys can look all over my Instagram. I don't post these photos because these are vulnerable moments, right? I ask my clients to send me photos so I can understand their body type. So, and I also highlight that within the questionnaire as well, just reassuring them, hey, this is not going to be shared publicly. This is specifically for my eyes only, just so I can get a good understanding of your body type and it helps me shop. Okay. So all of this is to help me shop, to be successful as your stylist. And so, again, my role is to make sure that you're fully comfortable. And again, I don't share this, and you will not see these before pictures, or these specific ones anywhere on the internet because, again, it is specifically for me and for my shopping process. So after we successfully have the consultation, I create something that is called a mood board. Okay. And I want to show you all just a few examples of what I have done or I have created, excuse me, for a mood board. Now, before I get into talking about that, I just want to talk about what is a mood board, right? So a mood board, and I don't know why it's okay. A mood board really does set the tone for the shopping experience, right? Or for the pieces that I pull for my clients. So if you tell me, Krista, I want a really muted palette, this or these are my brand colors, or if we're talking about seasonal styling, those colors might be influenced by whatever season that we're in or whichever season we're going into. And so the mood board really does set the tone for some of the colors that I might use, some of the styles that I might use. And then depending on what the service is, it might, if it's like a brand shoot, I might throw in a few poses that I'd like to see you do because I do offer creative direction services as well, both on-site and virtual. So if you're interested in that, we can absolutely talk about that. But the mood board is like it sets the tone for how we will work together and just gives you an idea of what I'm thinking right before I spend all these hours either online or physically in person at the mall or at boutiques shopping. And, I could be way off. So this mood board, it creates alignment for my clients to make sure that we are truly on the same page for the types of styles that we're looking for, the colors that we're looking for, and setting the overall mood, right? To use the word, setting the overall mood for the shopping experience. So I love to create mood boards for my clients. Also, it's very helpful because sometimes I might use terms that are specific to the fashion industry, and you may not understand fully what I mean, right? So the mood board gives a great visual representation of what I plan to do and what I plan to shop for as a stylist. Okay, so now I just want to show you all a few examples of some mood boards that I have created for a few of my clients. And again, this gives a great visual representation of just what to expect. And I'll just kind of walk through my thought process for some of these. So let me share my screen. And again, feel free. This is a Ask Me Anything. I know I'm just talking, but if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Okay. All right. So this Perfect. Okay, so this is one mood board. Okay, this particular client was a wardrobe revamp. So we completely gutted her wardrobe. She completely started from scratch. And this client loved color. So we wanted to add some pops of color. You can see with like this goldenrod, beautiful color, this coral reddish, this blue. And so I ended up pulling pieces for her wardrobe that included some of these pops of color. So again, one important reason why I share the mood board is so that she can tell me at this time, hey, Krista, I actually don't like the color yellow at all. It reminds me of when I was in elementary school, at whatever the story or case may be. But now I know, okay, let's remove yellow or this, goldenrod color and replace it with something else, right? Or just remove it altogether. But if we did not have this conversation, right? If we didn't have this mood board or I didn't have this visual representation, I could spend so much time, so many hours shopping, and then she ends up unhappy and I have to do the process all over again. So a mood board is very essential and it's a time saver. And again, it's all about alignment. Okay. So she wanted kind of like an edgy style. I remember her style icons were Zoe Kravitz and Solange. Was it Zoe Kravitz? Yes, Zoe Kravitz and Solange. She had beautiful big curly hair. She actually ended up chopping it all off, which it's still so beautiful. But she loved it. She fell in love with this, and I ended up pulling kind of inspiration from this mood board to really fill up her closet. And I just realized I never shared the end result of that, so I'm gonna have to do that soon so you all can see. But yes, so this is just an example of one of the mood boards that I've done. I also wanted to share this one, which is very different, right? So this client was doing a branding shoot. She wanted something very neutral. She doesn't really like bright colors. So we did very neutral colors for her. Bought her a beautiful power suit. So I loved, encompassing this like cream suit for her. This color looks amazing on her skin. I was also able to just pull in some denim for her because, again, this is going to be a branding shoot, but also with a little bit of lifestyle to it. So I wanted to make sure that it showed multiple sides of her, not just that boss woman, right? But also her working at home, drinking coffee and kicking her heels off and maybe working with clients virtually. And so this again is just like a visual representation of what she could expect as far as what I plan to shop for. Right, here's some of the colors that I plan to look for, some of the accessories potentially, and just gives an overall look and feel of what the overall shopping experience will entail. Okay, so I hope this is helpful in terms of just understanding what a mood board is and how it is truly impactful and beneficial with the client and consultant experience. This is a huge time saver. It is great in terms of communication, setting the tone, and just really sets expectations on the process and overall, again, what I plan to shop for. So let me just exit out of that. And let's dig back into the rest of the topic. So I hope this is helpful, you guys. Again, feel free to ask any questions that you might have. Okay. So we talked about the consultation, right? And what that entails. It's actually a Zoom meeting, so I love to have that visual or video with my clients when we have that first initial consultation. Again, this is how I know whether or not you'd be a good fit. I like to see your body language. I like to see just your facial expressions. I like to allow you to also see me, right? See my body language, see my facial expressions, see just who I am, right, as an individual, and just get to know me a little bit. This is also an opportunity for you to ask me any questions that you have at all whatsoever. I also talked about the next step in the process, which is going to be the mood board. And this is really where I set the tone of the shopping experience, the pieces that I'll be looking for, and really the inspiration behind what I will fill your closet with, right? So that's the mood board. So after the mood board is established, the next step in the process is going to be the personal shopping, okay? And this can be either virtually or it can be in person. Now, the only reason why I have even a virtual option is because of COVID. Before COVID, I did not have a virtual option. And to be completely honest, for first time clients, I really don't like virtual because it's a little bit more difficult in terms of just understanding your body type, getting just that connection, that face to face connection, and just getting comfortable with one another because this is a very vulnerable and intimate experience of shopping. It's not just about buying clothes, like, it's a very intimate and vulnerable experience. So I always prefer to do it in person. However, I do have virtual options. So just wanted to throw that out there because a lot of people just automatically want to do virtual because they think it's easier. But I'd actually like to share just a little bit about the virtual experience. So, especially if it's the first time that we work together, I always like to set expectations as far as timeline and really just understanding that there might be some back and forth in this process, right? When it's our first time working together, this is where I'm understanding what retailers work best for you, right? And your body type, because it's never going to be a cookie cutter process. Critique consulting is all about providing an individualized experience for my clients because everybody is different, right? Everybody has different goals and aspirations and different needs and wants for the styling experience. So I'm never going to give you a cookie cutter template or, just to follow these XYZ steps in order to have your wardrobe because that's not reality and that's not how it works. So, with that being said, there might be some back and forth. Well, there's always going to be back and forth, especially when it comes to virtual. Okay. So, one thing about the virtual fitting process or shopping process is the client is responsible for shopping for all the pieces. Okay. I'll say that again. The client is responsible for shopping for all the pieces. Now, what I do as a stylist is I provide you with the shopping links to make those purchases. And this is where things get a little tricky now, okay? This is going back to the making sure that you're invested with your time, right? And financially. From a timing perspective, I need you to be able to make those purchases within 24 hours. Okay, now why do I need you to make those purchases within 24 hours? Because things go out of stock, especially the items that I pick, because the items that I pick are cute. Okay, the items that I pick are cute. So, of course, they're going to go out of stock because everybody wants them. So, it's important, again, when we work together virtually and you understand that the onus is on you as the client, that you act fast. Okay. So that's why it's important for you to make sure that you have the time and the capacity to actually make those purchases using the links that I provide. And I make it very easy. I have pictures, I have the links, I have the pricing. So it's a no brainer and it's very quick. And you also are able to provide me feedback, provide me comments about, yes, I love this piece, or no, Krista, maybe let's do something that's in a different color, or I love this style, but let's try, a different print, or that type of feedback is always helpful. But again, with the virtual experience, the client is responsible for purchasing those items. Now, when I am on site with you, and this is why it's truly a VIP experience, is because I go out and I shop for all these amazing items and I bring them to the comfort of your home, right? Or wherever you're comfortable, whether it's a hotel, it's your home. But I bring these items to you for us to try on. Okay. Also, another thing that I wanted to point out is returns and exchanges. Okay. Now, before I get into that, it's important for you all to know your sizes. Okay. And I want to say that again. It is important for you to know your size. Okay. Now, why is this so important, Krista? I'm so glad you asked. It is important because this is how I'm shopping, okay? I am taking you at your word. If you tell me you're a size 10, I'm probably going to buy a size 10 and a size 12, or maybe a size 10 and a size 8, depending on the retailer. But that's typically it. I probably go up or down a size, and that's probably it, right? Because I don't want to buy out the whole mall. But what happens is, and what's happened to me multiple times, is a client has given me a size and she's way off. Okay. And this is not to be rude or mean or, anything like throw shade. But the thing is, when you give me a size, that is what I'm looking for. That is what I'm shopping for. And the issue that I run into is once we find out your true size, by the time, we're done with the fitting and all that, and I go back and you love the piece, but maybe it just doesn't fit, and now it's out of stock. So instead of just getting the right size in the first place, now it's either on back order and we have to wait, or now I have to find a whole new piece, and it's just not a fun experience. Okay. It's just not a fun experience. And I'm being honest, I'm being real because I really like setting expectations for us to both be successful. Okay. It's not a success if we're going through this back and forth or this, multiple times. That's not a successful interaction. What I love is when I have the right sizes and I bring them to the client and they fit and you love it and we can move on. That's what I love. A seamless experience. Okay. So please make sure that you know your sizes. And something that I'm actually going to start doing is asking for measurements versus sizing, or probably both, actually, because some of us, might be stuck pre-COVID and we might be thinking that, we still fit the same size, but we've been in sweats and tights and biker shorts and t-shirts, and you might not know your current size. So what I'm going to do moving forward is just say, hey, go to your nearest alterations place and get your measurements done and send that to me, because it just will allow both of us to be successful. And it's a no judgment zone. Like, if you're a size, I work with clients literally from a size 00 to a size 22. Literally. I've had clients that are a 00 and I've had clients that are a size 22. I'm not here to tell you, oh, you need to lose weight, or oh, you need to gain weight. That's not my job. My job and my role is to find pieces that complement your body and make you feel and look amazing, whether you're a size 2 or a size 22. Okay. That is my goal. And when I see you look in the mirror in your size 2 or your size 22, and you light up and I see that glow, that's what brings me joy. Okay. That's why I'm here. So please, when it comes to sizing, because I honestly get these questions a lot, asking me if I do plus size, or if I do petite, or, who I ideally focus on. And right now I'm open. Okay. I haven't niched down in terms of sizing. So feel free. Okay. Feel free to hit me up. Again, if you want to work with me, again, sizing is not going to be a factor. So I want to bring it back and make sure that I just reiterate the importance of knowing your sizes. Okay. That's truly what's going to allow us to be successful when it comes to these client fittings. And again, if it's virtual, remember, you're going to have to return all of these pieces, right? So sizing is important. Let's make sure we have the accurate measurements. Let's make sure we have the up-to-date and recent sizing, not your goal weight, right? Not, oh, well, I'm working out and let's order the sizes that I want to be in 6 weeks, because that's not going to help us be successful. Let's get some pieces for now. We don't have to fill your closet up with them, but let's get some pieces that work for you today. Okay, that you can actually wear today, not 6 months from now or 6 weeks from now. Okay, so sizing. I think I drove that point home enough. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And I see people popping in, so feel free to give me a shout out, give me a hashtag live if you're watching live. And then again, if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. So now moving on. So another thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of just shopping and making sure that we're on the same page. So understanding just availability and the seasons that where we are in today. Okay. Understanding the seasons and where we are today. So for example, if you're telling me, hey, Krista, I really want to get my fall wardrobe together and we are in the spring, it's going to be tough to fill your wardrobe with items from the fall, right? It's going to be tough. So just understanding what type of colors are typically on trend or on brand for that season and where we are in that time of year. Also, just the styles of clothing, understanding, what we typically have in the warmer months. So in terms of materials, wools and more thicker type materials. And then in the summertime, more cottons, more linens. Those types of things are all going to impact just the success of the types of items that you're looking for. Okay. Now, I will say colors as well. We know that there's a lot more deeper colors, right? In the falls, in the winter, and then you're going to have your more brighter hues in the spring as well as the summer. Hey, Kendra, thank you for joining. My coach is on. Hey, boo. All right. Because, and the reason why I'm sharing this, you guys, is because sometimes people think, oh, you're a stylist and you can just find, whatever. And you have to understand that I do have to work with what is already out there. I'm not a designer. I don't make the clothes. I shop for the clothes, right? So for what the retailers have already put out there. So sometimes specific colors that you might be looking for might not be available. Okay. Or maybe not that specific shade or that specific hue. So just keeping in mind the seasons that we're in, the types of materials, also just what the trends are, even though I'm not like a trendy stylist, but still just understanding what is available and what's out there is all going to impact the shopping experience, right? Which ultimately leads up to our fitting. And so the last thing that I want to add in terms of allowing us to be successful for a fitting, especially again, this is for my new clients, is understanding that there is going to be some back and forth in this process. And it doesn't mean that we are not a good fit. It doesn't mean that I am not a good stylist, right? And it doesn't mean that you are not a good fit in terms of the styling service. It's just that we're getting a good feel for each other, right? And sometimes, that's how it is, that we have to try different things. And this is why communication is just so important, because I always ask for feedback so I can continue to get better as I work with you. And you can continue to be more comfortable with providing feedback. And one thing that I always say is like, if there's something that you don't like, whether it's on the mood board or if it's something that I may have picked up, I might have thought of you and just wanted to add that in the mix. It's important for you to be honest with me, right? And give me that true feedback. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I always tell my clients that, like, I'm not tied to these clothes, okay? Ultimately, I want to make sure that you feel comfortable, that you feel amazing when you wear them. And my rule of thumb is always, if I have to talk you into it, or if you have to talk yourself into it, into keeping these items, let's take it back. Because those are going to be the pieces that you struggle with. And those are going to be the ones that are going to collect dust, and that's going to keep the tag on them, right? Because you're not truly sold on it. So I always tell my clients, hey, if you don't love it, it's okay. Let's try for something else. Maybe a different color, maybe just a different style. But again, if I have to talk you into it, number one, I'm not going to talk you into keeping something because, again, I'm not on commission. Like, I'm not the designer. So my role and my ultimate goal is to make sure that you feel so comfortable and so beautiful and so amazing in these pieces that I have styled you with. Okay. And so that's why this fitting is so important and our communication is so important. And when we are on site, I can read your body language. I can look into those eyes and I can see if you're hesitating, or if you're like, or if you're looking at that same, like in the mirror, you're like, I could see all of that. Then that's what I look for. But if you're in the mirror, like, ooh, or if you're like, calling your boyfriend or your husband in the room, like, look at this. And I'm like, bet, that's it. That's the one. We're keeping it. Okay. So again, honesty is going to be the best policy in this process. And this is truly why I always love to get to know my clients. That's why we have a consultation. That's why we go through the lifestyle analysis. That's why we go through the mood board. And these are all touch points for us to communicate, to get to know each other, and ultimately to build the relationship to have a successful process down the line. Okay. Because I'm not successful if you have a closet full of clothes that you never wear. That's not success to me. Even though, yeah, okay, you paid for the service. Yes, it's another client that I get to work with, but I don't feel good. I don't. Like, I can read people very well. And if I know that you don't feel confident in those clothings, I'm not going to let that just sit. I'm just not. That's not the type of stylist that I am. And some people might just be like, well, just keep it and try to talk you into it. Like, well, this is on trend. But you'll learn that that's not how I am. And ultimately, your happiness is my goal as a stylist, because this is going to be your clothes, right? And this is truly going to impact your career, your life, your love life, or whatever your goals are for wanting this new wardrobe. So I'm just going to highlight again what we talked about tonight. So I talked about my process in terms of how I work with my clients, and it's always going to start with a consultation. This is ultimately how we understand if we're a good fit to work with one another. I just share about me. You can share the reason for why you're wanting these services, what your goals are, right? And then that's when I truly understand whether or not it's a good fit, if my services can truly deliver what it is that you're looking for. I give you a questionnaire for you to tell me what colors inspire you, where you get your fashion inspiration, who you're influenced by, as well as your sizing. This is where the sizing is captured. We talked about the importance of knowing your sizes, making sure that you get measured either at an alterations place or by a professional, right? Because we want to make sure that we are shopping for the right sizes. And then that's where I create your mood board. So the mood board truly does set the tone for the shopping experience. It shows what colors I plan to shop for. It shows the styles that I plan to shop for, and really just the overall mood of the looks that I'm going for. And that's, again, another opportunity for you as the client to provide feedback to me, honest and open feedback, to truly set me up for success when it comes to personal shopping. I mentioned that I also offer personal shopping on site, where I will bring all of the amazing items to you in the comfort of your home. Sometimes I bring a little drink, a little champagne to ease your nerves, because again, I want you to be comfortable during this process. I want you to know that I'm truly here to support you, not to judge you in any way, shape, or form, right? Because my goal is to make you feel beautiful, make you feel amazing, and make you feel confident and classy. Or this can also be virtual. And I also shared that I provide the shopping links, and the responsibility is on the client to purchase the items within that 24 hours time period, to make sure that their items are not out of stock, and that we're just not adding any more delays to the process. Shipping and returns, again, depending if it's on site, I will handle it as the stylist. If it's virtual, it's going to be on the client to make sure that you understand the return or exchange policy, and that you are adhering to those timelines and guidelines. And last but certainly not least is going to be the fitting session, where again, I bring the items to you, you offer feedback. And again, this may take a couple iterations where we're doing some exchanges, or, this is a process. And that's ultimately what I want you all to understand. There's a lot that goes into the process on the front end, on the back end. Once I'm done, I also provide you with a style guide, where now that you have these new items in your wardrobe, now you understand, hey, this is exactly how I can wear this. This is how I can mix and match the pieces that are currently in my closet with these new items. So you truly feel empowered, right? And you go from unsure to unstoppable when you walk out that house, whether it's to that networking event, to work, or on a date with your new boo. I want to make sure that you truly feel empowered and successful when it comes to understanding your style. Okay, so I hope tonight gave you just a glimpse of what I do as an image consultant, as a wardrobe stylist. I am currently accepting new clients. So let me go ahead and share my link for your brand discovery call. And again, this is a no pressure call. There are a few ways that you can work with me. So I would love to get on this free 30-minute session for us to really understand what some of your styling needs are. And how I can support you. So again, whether it's ad hoc styling, if you have an event coming up, a photo shoot, whether it's a branding shoot, I kind of shared a little bit about that earlier with one of the mood boards that I shared. Or maybe you're ready to refresh your wardrobe. We're in the fall now. It doesn't feel like it because it's still 90 degrees, but we are in a new season. So whether you want to get your fall wardrobe together or even start getting a step ahead, in terms of your winter wardrobe, and you're looking for a new capsule, let's go ahead and jump on the phone. I do offer that service as a wardrobe refresh. Maybe we just need to add a few pieces to really energize your existing closet. Or maybe you're like, you know what, Krista, I'm moving on to a new position at work, or I want a new position at work. Or you know what, I'm ready to start playing the field again. I'm ready to start dating. And I need a wardrobe that really reflects my future self. I'm tired of looking like I looked 2-3 years ago, pre-pandemic, pre-COVID. And it's a new me. It's a new season. It's about to be a new year. We're about to be in Q4, right? So you might be ready for a complete wardrobe revamp. So those are the 3 ways that you can work with me. Again, please use this link to set up a call. This link is also in my bio. It's on my website, www.critiqueconsulting.com. And I hope tonight was helpful, you guys. It's always a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed your Labor Day. I'm about to go fix my apple pie and ice cream and enjoy the rest of my holiday. And thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Keeping It Classy with Krista. I will see you all next week, same time, same place. And thank you again for tuning in. Have a great night and enjoy the rest of your holiday. Take care.